Battle Bake. I always call it Big Boss. That's not it.
It's a TV show, isn't it?
I don't know.
Cake Boss.
Cake Boss.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
bacon cakes.
Exactly. We are back again today with another pumped up Kickstarter. I can't not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Today's preview video is going to be on Battle Bake from Grand Gadzookery Games. I like that word, Gadzookery. It's a fun one.
Mouthful.
It's a mouthful, who very kindly sponsored this video. Now, as per usual with our preview videos, we're going to do a little overview and then we're going to jump into a discussion to help you figure out whether or not Battle Bake is right for you. Okay, so we'll BRB. Welcome to Powys, the bustling city of entertainment. Here, the greatest bakers gather at La Delsey Bakery, where the flames of fierce competition fuel the ovens. As one of the bakers, you'll be competing in the culinary arts by baking and selling the most delicious desserts. The best bakers will not only be able to fuse together the finest ingredients to perfection, but also strategize against their competition and sabotage their work. So whisk up, knead down, and bake your way to glory. Okay, we're back. Let's talk a little bit about Battle Bake, which is now sitting right there. All right, Jeff, tell the people about Battle Bake.
Battle Bake is a baking-themed battle game for 3 to 6 players, where ultimately you are trying to bake desserts.
And they're all angry.
And there's variable player powers, so everyone is going to be a baker extraordinaire, and it's all cutesy art. There's you can be
Claire the chicken.
I was Pierre the penguin, etc., etc. You're gonna have a player board in front of you, and you are going to be essentially gathering ingredients from 2 massive ingredient piles. There's vanilla, cinnamon, chocolate, all of these things. But looped up into those ingredients are really mean cards. There's mold. There's anchovies, there's burnt cards, all of these things to really mess with all of the other bakers around the table. So what you're going to be doing is, on your player board, you're going to have 2 trays, you're going to have 2 ovens, you're going to have a storefront, and then a sale counter. And, as you can suspect, it's a very procedural game where you are putting things into the trays, then you're going to be spending action points to move those up to the ovens, spending action points to move those to your storefront to sell, and then using action points to actually sell those treats. But as you play out, there are timers on all of these cards. Yeah. So all of these hierarchical dessert cards, so it's a shared board in the middle with all of the desserts and what they require from an ingredient standpoint. All of those goodies, I'm trying to think of new words every time. All of those goodies have a required bake time. So if it's like 2, for example, that's going to be 2 rounds that they need to stay in the oven. And once it's in the oven, it can then move over to the store. But while things are happening, you are getting messed with all the time with all of these cards. Everyone has passive and actionable abilities that they can do. It's a bit chaotic. Once a goodie is sold, that then triggers an ability off of the goodie card, off of the dessert card.
Desserts.
Do you not like that I keep saying goodie?
No, I think it's funny. It's just funny.
Once the dessert gets completed and sold, they all have an ability trigger that will happen once they are sold, and they all have victory point conditions that will be put to the side. The first person to get to 7 victory points triggers endgame, and then it comes down to whoever has the most points. I will mention there are the shared player board, the shared goodie player board, has tiers. So there's tier 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
The 4-tier desserts are harder to make. They require more ingredients, that sort of thing. As you complete desserts, new ones will be filtering into the shared player board, and that's basically the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one thing that is really interesting, if you're like, oh, it sounds really like simple. Well, first of all, you have a hand limit of the ingredients. You're always drawing new ingredients, but on the 2 trays, because you only have 2 trays that you're working on, you have to have the exact ingredients for one of the goodies out onto the board before you can put it into the oven. So you might be drawing stuff that you're like, I need eggs.
Yeah, and you can't get eggs.
Low on bean. You might need something like that because you're working towards a cake that's going to give you lots of points, but you might need to filter through that a little bit. So you only have 2 trays to work in, so you can only be working on 2 recipes at a time.
And then someone might be like, oh, here's a card. You have to discard your entire tray of food or ingredients.
Yeah,
and so
it's quite rude.
You're done. As Jamie mentioned, yes, like I should go a little bit deeper into how the action point system works. So on your turn, you have 3 action points.
Yeah.
1 action point to put stuff onto your tray. 1 action point to put your ingredients into the oven. And then anything after that is 2 action points. Moving a completed item to your storefront is 2 action points. Selling it is 2 action points. Yeah. So you really have to manage what those action points mean for you. Because again, like Jamie mentioned, there's not a lot of ways to get through a deck to draw cards, unless you discard them, because that is a thing you can do. Yes. You can discard from your tray or your hand in order to draw back up to 5 to get new cards. But everyone's competing for the same desserts.
Yeah,
so
and you don't know what anybody's working on unless you're really paying attention to what ingredients they've got going on.
Yeah, and I should mention too, it's not real time. So when I had mentioned the bake timer, it's just a round. It's not, there's
like just a little counter.
Yeah, there's a counter that, again, let's just say it said 2. And so the dessert goes up into the oven. The next round, that 2 will flip to the other side and become a 1. And then after the next round, it's removed and you can move it to the storefront. It's ready to be sold.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how that works. It's not, because I know a lot of these games, these baking, kitchen-y games tend to be real time.
Yeah.
This one is not.
No. And like Jeff mentioned, each character has their own special ability. So I was Claire the chicken who got to play eggs for free. So I didn't have to spend action points in order to put eggs into my little tray for my recipes.
Yeah, and Pierre the penguin, anchovy cards did not do anything to me. Because I'm a penguin. I love fish. You want to throw an anchovy at me? No problem, Bob.
So, who is this game for? This game is obviously, number 1, for people who enjoy games about food and cute games, because it's definitely a cute game for sure. It is a relatively lightweight game. The rule set, very straightforward, very simple. You can easily play this with kids if you like. However, just be mindful. There is meanness, okay? So if your kid or your friends or your partner or whoever can't handle a little bit of take that, just beware about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there is, I guess, a way you could play this without, like, you could take out the mean cards.
Sure.
But I think the core reason this game exists is for that take that-iness. So to remove that from the game, I think, would be
silly.
Counterintuitive to what the game's about. But yeah, Jamie's right. There is a lot of take that in this game. It's called Badal Bake. It's called Badal Bake. It's called Badal Bake. So you are going to be badaling.
Constantly
badaling.
Badaling over bagels. That is definitely, like, it might not be for you if you don't like that. If you get frustrated by not being able to find the things that you need, or if, somebody wiping what you've been working on, like, you could be working on a cake which needs 6 ingredients, and you could have 5, and a card could come up that could be like, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So if you can't handle that, if you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen.
That is a phrase
that
is used quite frequently. If you enjoy these themed games like Jamie mentioned, I do think what I said is true. A lot of them are real time. This one isn't. So if you don't like real time, but you like the theme, might be something to check out as well.
Exactly. So that is a little bit about Battle Bake. All of the information is going to be in the description below, links to the Kickstarter page, all of that good stuff. As we always say though, do your research, watch the content, look through everything on the Kickstarter page to make sure that this is the right game for you.
Make informed buying decisions.
You love to see it when people do that. It makes my insides feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else makes my insides feel good? And this is kind of relevant. I ate chocolate cake for lunch.
She did, and gummy bears.
And gummy bears is my dessert.
That was her lunch.
So, am I having a battle bake with myself? Maybe a little bit. Who's to say? But that is everything that we have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, not this one you have to go to Kickstarter, but other board games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
They have baked goods there, too.
They do.
Mm-hmm. They got lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good, okay? And if you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days. But in this game, ultimately, you're going to have a player Boyd.
But I just sucked in my hair. That was traumatic for me.
Happens.